Our main benefit really in today's market is to compete online. You need very good prices. You also need to have an extensive stock range. So as a small business, it's very, very hard to compete unless you've got a good system behind you where you can source product as you sell. When there's changes, stacks keep up with the changes. As long as you keep up with stacks, then you're there and thereabout really. Like I said, there's 35,000 products that we've got access to. There's certain manufacturers we could deal direct with, some that you can't, but of course it takes away the need to do that. Our range at the shop will be nowhere near what we sell online, so we can integrate directly into Stack stock figures. So essentially what we sell online, we can reflect what Stack have got in a warehouse, so we can reflect the stock of a multi-million-pound warehouse without physically ordering the goods. I mean, we use other suppliers that don't offer the CSV, so you can't take off the stock. So we couldn't work like that with other suppliers, whereas with Stacks we can do. The internet facility that they've got and the information that they can provide just makes it a really valuable asset, whereas other suppliers don't provide that information. Yeah, I mean, Stacks is the core of our business, without a doubt.
We've been in business for 30 years and also coming here for 30 years. We come on average twice, maybe 3 times a week. We do that purely and simply because the size of the orders that we have to pick. The stock range is absolutely fantastic. It carries everything in stock that we carry in stock. Obviously prices are important and they try their best to be competitive. Promotions are put forward every month or so. That's a massive help to ourselves. We can pass those promotions on. So all in all, they're basically an enormous version of ourselves. These days, service is becoming more and more important, and probably the most popular comment that's made about the big places like B&Q and the other sheds is that people feel that when they go there that they're lost. There's no attention because there are very few staff there to help them, and the staff that are there aren't particularly trained well in order that they can get what they want. One of the big advantages of coming to an independent retailer is that first and foremost you get a relationship with your customers. They get to know what you can do and vice versa, and they don't feel uncomfortable in the environment that we create, and therefore as a consequence service becomes the main reason why they come to your shop rather than just price. And obviously that helps ourselves because it allows us to make a decent margin, because service tends to be the reason that people use as a key decision-making process. When we first came to Stacks 30 years ago, we're relatively speaking quite small in relation to the way that they are now. The big advantage of Stacks is that they've moved with the times. I think they've kept ahead of the game, kept in front of the pack, and that's enabled their customers like myself to do the same thing. We've got 25 other suppliers which deliver to us, but I would say that out of what we spend in total on stock, that 65 to 70% of our purchases are made annually through Stacks. The link between manufacturer and myself is that quite simply Stacks is the liaison. It's the most important link. I'm not big enough as a small shop to deal directly with Ronseal and get the deals I get here. I'm not big enough to deal with Dulux or Johnson or anybody else. So it's imperative that I've got a middleman, if you like, which is Stacks. And that role hopefully will continue. Whatever happens to the marketplace, I still need their buying power to supply me with the goods and the prices that I can get at the moment. The most important aspect of our business is the fact that we can come here and we can get things at competitive prices without having to buy huge amounts. The key element more than anything else is the fact that we can buy what we want, when we want, at competitive prices because of Stacks buying powers, and that will never change. I actually mean all that, by the way, it's not bullshit, I actually mean all that.
For people like us, they can act as a one-stop shop where you can get a whole raft of items that cover a lot of your needs delivered in one go from one operation. And Leeds branch cover all 13 stores that we've got, and we can have little and often deliveries. One of the advantages Stacks have got is they've got a live website. which means that if I've run out of stock from a direct supplier that's other than Stacks, or I want to know how they like for stock in general, I can pop onto their website and it will say so many in Leeds branch, which is our branch, or so many nationwide. With some of the big brands that are on offer, we're able to get them at Stacks for the same prices as we would buy them direct. And that means that we can dip in, and instead of having one delivery from one brand, another delivery from another brand, and another delivery from another brand, which might overstock us in order to hit the minimum order quantities, we can mix and match it all from Stacks, not have any commercial negativity because it's the same prices, and get it in, which means we can maximise our cash flow and keep our inventory lean and mean. You need to be very selective with your supply base, and you need, in my opinion, to choose partners that will stand by you and grow with you as you grow. So you're looking for long-term relationships, and with Stacks I think we've identified someone that we will work side by side with and grow with, because as I've said in a previous comment, they offer a one-stop shop and they're generally a helpful bunch of guys. Essentially they're good guys and a good business that have been supportive over the years, and it's nice to give a little bit back.
Probably the biggest change for us has been the garden centres. That's come on very strong, and with our type of product it's perfect. So that's really developed over the last few years, probably the last 2 to 3 years. It's really starting to show some results now. It works very well for the customer because it doesn't put any stock pressure on Stacks. So we pick it, pack it, deliver it on behalf of Stacks. So the customer doesn't have to wait too long for it, hasn't got to worry about whether Stacks have got a pile of stock in. It's mainly around the pre-season time that we do that. When any customer says to you, we're going to start doing a trade show, the immediate reaction for a supplier is, oh, another one. With the big brand show, when we very first started, it was successful. It was very good. I think the good thing about how it's developed over the years is they've listened to us. They've, at the end of each show, asked us the questions, how's it gone, how can we change it, and they've listened. So each year, certainly for us, speaking from a Ronseal perspective, it's got better and better and better. The last one being, I would probably say, probably the most successful trade show I've ever had to do with in my whole of career at Ronseal. They were a cash and carry. Now we're going into delivered wholesale. Getting that message across to the customer is a difficult thing because people are so used to Stacks' way of doing things. The website development's been quite a big thing. We supply a lot of images for them and very specific images of each colour of the tins. It's getting that message across to the customer then from that is the till-to-till that they do now. That's all starting to come to fruition. But it is a combination of us working with Stacks and Stacks working with us that's helped develop that. Stacks reps, as they've come on, and they are, apart from a couple of them, mainly garden centre, and we've worked with them over the years since they've started, and that's grown. I mean, it's probably twice as many now as it was when they first started, so it's working. When you've got another sales team that are doing a similar thing, it's almost doubling up your sales force. I mean, the retail business is still strong. We have an independent sales force that only do independents and garden centres. So we wouldn't have done that had we felt it was a dying trade. I don't think it's expanding massively, but what's there is good and still moving forward. And I really enjoy dealing with Stacks, genuinely. So it's keeping me in the job.
Obviously, when we first started dealing with our cash and carry only, they now deliver for us. And the deliveries come through quite quickly as well. Most of our suppliers we do deal directly with. There's direct accounts anyway, but obviously it's that useful top up every weekend after a busy weekend just to get the shelves filled up again. Yeah. So the next day rather than having to wait up to a week. Scott's has worked very well through Stacks because we get direct pricing all year round through Stacks, dealing through the direct accounts rather than that. It's probably where they weren't holding the quantities in the gardening range. But since the market's moved with solars going out of the market in that respect, they've certainly really upped the game with stock holdings, improved the warehousing, improved availability.
Stacks are very clever in having both the cash and carry side, which enables our members to go and buy what they want and take it away, or a very good delivered business, which we're obviously trying to expand. and the area that is extremely interesting to our members. Our members can also purchase quite a lot of different products with one single order and one single delivery. With less and less distributors and wholesalers to pick from, it does appear to me that Stax seem to be making more effort than most. It's a win-win situation for both Stax and for BIRA, and of course our members. They've been very proactive, yes, and they've made sure that they well support BIRA, because they know in turn that BIRA support the retailers. And at the end of the day, if we can support the retailers, then it must mean somebody who relies on independence, that we're doing a good job for them as well. There's a lot of promotional activity which our members have responded very well. In fact, we're just running a leaflet at the moment where if the members earn a certain amount of orders in value, they'll get a free leaflet with their name on that they can distribute. There's about 1,000 leaflets on there, so we expect to expand that over the next few months. And to be quite right, it's easy for the supplier because they can send a big lorry load to Stax. With me, they've got to send their individual orders to, you know. And some of our members are little corner shops. And so that, you know, that's where it comes quite difficult. The smaller you are, the more difficult it is to deal direct. Yes, okay, you pay a little bit more, but you get what you want when you want. And that's got to be key for any retail business. David, try and get a depot over in East Anglia if you can, because I think it'll pay you dividends.
Well, 12 years ago, it was purely for us a cash and carry type business, doing a reasonable amount of business, out of 4 cash and carries in those days. Now it's developed into or developed through being a delivered wholesaler and now a full-blown distributor of Scott's Miracle-Gro products. We have 2 major distributors now in the UK, Deco and Stax. Since the demise of Solus, it's been down to 2 rather than 3. We have 1 or 2 other smaller ones that we use on a regional basis, but they're the 2 big national ones. The amount of business that we've done with Stax during the last 3 to 4 years has absolutely exploded. And as I say, with the demise of Solus last year, that took off even more. And Stax very easy to deal with. I find them very positive about where they want to go and what they're able to achieve. They're very keen to invest in the business to grow it, and that helps us at Scott's enormously. Big brand shows tend to be a good event for us, for Scott's. We get to see a lot of customers that we wouldn't normally, i.e. those that we were talking about just now, where the Stax reps are looking after entirely. So we get to visit those customers get to come and visit us within the store. And we also get to see some of our customers and show how united we are with Stax in moving their stock to them. The feedback that we've had from our retailers, particularly over the last year, where the amount of business has grown dramatically, is that Stax have really come to their assistance, their aid. They're providing a very, very good service from practically nowhere. There was a lot of issues about trust, and Stax have really risen to the event and come to the market in a great way, both for us at Scott's and also, as I say, for retailers.